Welcome to the deep dive. Imagine a text that's, well, not just ancient wisdom, but like a profound mirror reflecting your own choices, your own pursuit of contentment, and maybe the true meaning of ease in a world that feels full of struggle. Today, we're embarking on a really captivating journey into Surah 92, Al-Layl, the night. We're going to unpack insights that might challenge everything you thought you knew about wealth, effort, and, destiny.
Yeah, and we're fortunate. We've got some incredibly rich sources for this deep dive, detailed linguistic analyses, crucial historical context. These really allow us to explore how this surah connects so intricately with the one right before it, Surah Ash-Shams. And it offers these timeless, directly applicable lessons on, well, human effort, how we handle wealth, and that often misunderstood path to genuine contentment.
Right. And our mission today is basically to pull out the most powerful nuggets, the often surprising insights from these profound texts. We want to give you that aha moment, leave you feeling truly well-informed.
Absolutely. It's like a masterclass. In contrast, you've got light and dark, giving and holding back, all pointing towards a central truth about our lives, our actions. It's fascinating. Let's really dive into it.
Okay, so as we open Surah Al-Layl, what immediately strikes me is how it echoes, but also sometimes reverses, the themes from Ash-Shams. Ash-Shams started with an oath, by the day, then the night, using verbs for brightening and covering. But here in Al-Layl, it flips, right? First night, then day. There's a linguistic thing here that's quite clever, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. There's a subtle but really powerful detail. In Ashams, it says the night covers it up, and it's clearly pointing to the sun. But here in Al-Layl, when it just says the night covers up, the object is actually left unmentioned. It's almost like the surah is, gently challenging us. It assumes you're paying attention, that you remember the previous surah. It's basically asking you to fill in the blank, what does the night cover? Well, the sun, of course. It's a beautiful way to make you an active participant.
That's a great observation. It really rewards you if you're listening closely. And it's not just the order of night and day. The verb tenses also tell a story. We see the night's covering in the present tense, suggesting something incomplete, gradual, partial, maybe. But the day's brightening is past tense, complete, absolute, immediate. What's the deeper takeaway from that grammatical choice?
Well, if you connect this to the bigger picture, like human life and belief, it kind of reflects the nature of disbelief or corruption. It often creeps in slowly, bit by bit, doesn't hide everything at once. Think of Twilight. It doesn't just black everything out instantly. But truth and guidance, like the day bursting forth, they can manifest quickly, completely. Like, consider Prophet Muhammad's impact, just 23 years, right? It brought this total clarity where spiritual darkness had kind of reigned for centuries. It shows how fast light can just dispel darkness.
That's a really powerful analogy. Yeah, truth just bursting through. And the contrasts keep coming, like with creation itself. Asham swore oaths by the sky and earth, focusing on the vastness, the architecture. But Al-Layl swears by the male and the female. Are these just two different pairs, or is there something deeper connecting them?
It's an intriguing detail, definitely. Both pairs, sky-earth, male-female, they're contradictory in a way, but they're also totally interdependent for life to continue. Just like rain from the sky is needed for plants on Earth, male and female are essential for procreation. They are these two distinct parts, but they form a cohesive, functioning whole, essential for life. And the really profound revelation here, maybe, is that if everything in this physical world needs a pair to be complete, night needs day, day needs night, then maybe this world itself is inherently incomplete. Its true other half, its ultimate completion, has to be the hereafter. That fundamentally shifts how you see this life, doesn't it?
Wow. Okay, so this world isn't standalone. It's actually part of a larger pair with the hereafter. That really recontextualizes everything. Another fascinating shift is how the surah talks to the listener. Ashams used that third-person address, right? Yeah. Giving universal lessons. But Al-Layl immediately switches to second person. It says, I'm warning you. What's the significance of that directness, that personal touch?
Well, the purpose of going from that general third-person lesson to a direct second-person address is really to make those universal insights immediately land in your life. It stops being a theoretical concept you think about for other people. It becomes a direct conversation about your own actions, your choices, pulls you right into the message.
So it becomes incredibly personal.
Okay.
And along with that personal shift, Ashams focused on cleansing the inner self, the nafs, acknowledging we kind of know right from wrong inside. But Al-Layl addresses our outward efforts, our actions. How do these two layers, inner state and outer action, connect across these surahs?
Yeah, it's a really natural progression. Ashram's laid that foundation. We have this innate conscience, this inner GPS for good and evil. Then the surah comes along and says, okay, despite that inner awareness, our efforts are often dispersed, like all over the place. Some good, some bad. It bridges that gap, From the internal recognition of what's right to the external stuff we actually do, it shows our actions are a direct reflection, for better or worse.
And while Asham's sort of declared who succeeded and who failed, Al-Layl seems to move beyond just declarations. It gives us the detailed how. It's like the roadmap, isn't it?
Exactly. The previous surah set the stage, pointed out who wins and who loses, spiritually speaking. This surah now defines those paths in detail. It fills in those crucial how-to parts for you, the listener. It's practical.
This next connection is really striking to me. Asham's mentioned rebellion against the truth, but Al-Layl goes deeper, points to a diseased attitude towards wealth as a root cause. How exactly does our relationship with money become a breeding ground for, well, spiritual rebellion?
It really pinpoints a fundamental psychological trap. When someone starts feeling financially independent, maybe they've accumulated a lot of wealth, they can start relying less on the divine and more on themselves. This false sense of self-sufficiency, like being free of need, can definitely lead to a weaker sense of accountability to a higher authority. And that fuels rebellion. It's a subtle thing, but a powerful human tendency. And the surah just brilliantly highlights it.
So it's not just what you have, but what having it does to your heart. And then Al-Layl also seems to offer these divine corrections for two different types of people.
Yes, it addresses both extremes, really. It corrects the self-righteous person, reminding them that guidance, that's a sheer gift from Allah. It's not something you earn or own through your good deeds. You have to constantly ask for it. And then it corrects the wretched one, the one who mistakenly thinks they're in control because of their wealth. It clarifies, Allah owns everything, this life and the next, not us. Our sense of ownership. It's an illusion.
Right, that illusion of control. The parallels keep going with the crime against miracles. In Asham's, we had the nation of Thamud. They lied against their messenger, violated the miracle of the she-camel, even though they were told, stay away. Now, in Al-Layl, how does the crime of the people of Quraysh compare?
It's a really powerful inversion, actually. The people of Quraysh also lied against the truth, but their crime was against their miracle, the Qur'an itself. And what's more, they were told to come towards it, to embrace it, but they turned away. So you have one nation told to keep away, and they approached. The other told to approach, and they kept away. In both cases, though, that rebellion against Allah's clear signs and gifts led to devastating consequences.
Wow, that's a profound contrast. Different forms of defiance. And speaking of warnings, Asham's depicted the messenger warning the people. But Allah takes it a big step further. Allah himself says, I warned you. That implies these are Allah's direct words, not just through a human messenger. And the consequence shifts too, right? From punishment in this world in Asham's to the blazing fire of the hereafter here in Allah. It seems to pivot from like Allah's destructive attitude towards the wicked to a more protective attitude towards the righteous at the end.
Indeed. Asham's highlighted Allah's destructive side against the wicked in this life, the dunya, the quantifiable destruction of nations. Here, the emphasis shifts. It moves towards the protective attitude for the righteous, but in the hereafter. And what's really remarkable is how Allah kind of quantifies the punishment, crushed them, destroyed them, but for the reward, he keeps it unquantified. He just says he'll soon be very pleased.
Yeah.
It implies this unimaginable, complete contentment, something words can't fully capture.
Unlimited reward. Unimaginable contentment. Okay. And I remember back in Surah Al-Balad, there was that mention of a difficult descent, like climbing a mountain. But now in Al-Layl, Allah says, he will facilitate for him the easiest thing for the one on the righteous path. This sounds almost contradictory. A difficult descent there, and the easiest thing here. What's the secret?
It's all about how you perceive the effort, really. The imagery is so powerful. The righteous person, they elevate themselves by actually putting themselves down before Allah through giving, through humility.
Yeah.
And because of that, Allah makes their path unexpectedly easy. Conversely, the wretched person lowers themselves by trying to get elevated through wealth. And ironically, Allah facilitates the hardest things for them. It's a complete reversal of what you might expect from just a worldly view. It challenges our whole mindset about what's truly hard or easy. True ease comes from that humility, from lowering yourself before Allah. And that's when he opens doors you never even imagined.
That's a truly transformative perspective. Okay, so with all these incredible connections laid out, let's zoom out for a second. How does Surah Al-Layl, with all these layers, actually build its central message? What's its unique structure, its architecture that delivers this powerful truth?
Well, the surah has a very clear, very deliberate structure. It kicks off with those powerful oaths, by night, by day, by male, by female. These odes aren't just, poetic flourishes. They prepare us for the core message, the thesis, really, of the whole surah. Your efforts are truly diverse.
Oh.
That is the fundamental lesson Allah's teaching here. Then the next section meticulously describes these two diverse paths, one towards righteousness, the other towards wretchedness. After that, Allah clarifies his ultimate role guidance is his. He owns this life and the hereafter. And it wraps up with that stark warning, the blazing fire, and then a contrasting, hopeful description of who gets saved from it.
That central thesis, your efforts are truly diverse, feels incredibly relevant today. Can you tell us more about the linguistic depth there, specifically the Arabic word shatta?
Oh, shatata is a remarkable word. Imagine like a perfectly formed crystal, and then it gets shattered into countless pieces. That's shaka, something that was once whole, now dispersed, scattered all over. So the surah is telling us humanity was meant to be united, our efforts focused on a common good. This very diversity we see, the conflicting efforts of good and bad, it's the sign of this spiritual scattering. Yet what's truly profound is that even these opposing efforts, believers spreading truth versus disbelievers trying to harm it, they're actually part of a larger divine plan. Just like day and night or male and female come together in a grand whole, these diverse human efforts also form part of a divine test. It's a profound call, really, for you to figure out what side you're on. And interestingly, the antonym of shatta is lam, which means to perfectly put broken pieces back together. And that word is used to describe the hearts of believers.
That's a beautiful image. Shattered pieces of humanity being put back together in believing hearts. Wow. Okay, let's dive into those two contrasting paths in detail. First, the one who gives and fears Allah and confirms the truth. Let's start with he who gave ata. What does ata really mean here?
Atta signifies giving a lot, like in abundance, often more than expected, almost like a favor or a bonus. It's not just about paying someone back or compensation, and the scope is incredibly broad. It can be giving your time, a genuine smile, charity, help, advice, even love to your child, or patience from a teacher to a student. It's about giving whatever Allah has given you the capability over. And what's powerful, again, is the ambiguity. The object, what was given, isn't mentioned, just like what the night covers up.
No.
It forces you, the listener, to fill in the blanks, to think expansively about all the ways you can give. Are you a truly giving person in all parts of your life?
That's an interesting challenge. Am I a giving person in that broadest sense? So it's not just wealth, but giving of your very being. Okay. And then this person feared Allah. Wata. How does this crucial element, taqwa, connect with the giving?
Wataka isn't just about feeling scared. It's more like active self-preservation, like putting on a spiritual shield,
Yeah.
It means consciously taking steps to protect yourself from the negative consequences of going against Allah's will. And this is crucial because it makes sure that your goodness towards people through giving is coupled with goodness towards Allah through that consciousness. It's not about giving to try and make up for bad deeds. It's giving while maintaining that constant, cautious awareness of Allah. You give, but you don't then get arrogant or think, okay, I'm secure now. You stay vigilant.
That's a key distinction. Giving with humility, not complacency.
Right.
And finally, this path includes confirming the truth in the ultimate good. Sadaka bil husna. What is this ultimate good, the husna? What does it really mean to confirm the truth in it?
Husna means the most beautiful, the best possible outcome or reality. It could refer to paradise, sure, but also following the messenger, obeying Allah, or even just all good deeds combined, the ultimate good. And sidki, the root of sadaqah, means something solid, unchanging, and uncompromising truth, like the hard truth. So the core message here is accepting that truth, even when it's uncomfortable or challenging, doing it without hesitation, without fear of what others might think or the personal cost. This is the height of goodness. It's humbling yourself when corrected or accepting Islam despite social pressure, for instance.
That sounds like a journey of, both internal and external humility. And the order of these three things, giving, then fearing Allah, then confirming truth, it seems reversed from maybe what we'd expect logically. Why that order?
That's a great question. It shows the surah's deliberate emphasis. You're right. The usual logical flow might be confirm truth in your heart first, then develop that fear or consciousness in your heart and actions, and then finally give as a pure action. But the surah puts action first, giving, because that's the central theme, our efforts. And from a societal view, maybe giving comes first, contributing to civilization. Then comes abiding by the law, which is like taqwa. And then confirming the ultimate truth leads to the ideal society. So the sequence actually illustrates a practical progression, maybe for both the individual and society.
That's a really remarkable insight into the layers here. Okay. And for those who follow this path, Allah promises, then we will make ease for him the easiest thing. What kind of ease is this, Yusra? and why the word soon?
Yusra describes a task done without difficulty. Even if the task itself is challenging, it feels easy, or maybe it feels like a task that's actually beneath your skill level. This is Allah's incredible gift. Doing good deeds becomes the easiest, most natural thing for you. Allah literally makes all the arrangements, opens all the doors. As for soon, well, for regular people like us, it offers this profound consolation, right? It implies that ease is definitely coming. For Prophet Muhammad, perhaps this ease was already there. No soon was needed because his connection with Allah was already one of complete tranquility. It also implies that your mindset really matters. People who complain, oh, this is so hard, often fail. But accepting the reality of it, having a strong attitude, actually makes things feel easy. It aligns with that idea of the fundamentally easy religion of Ibrahim.
So accepting the reality of the good deed makes it easy. Okay, now let's look at the other path, the contrast. The one who is cheap and feels free of need and lies against the truth. First, he who was cheap, Bakila.
Bakhila. Yeah, it means withholding wealth, being extremely reluctant to spend it in good ways. And the consequence isn't just that they are cheap, they often actively encourage others to be cheap too, discouraging good deeds by their example or words. They hoard because they wrongly think they absolutely need it all for themselves.
And this hoarding leads to feeling free of need. Istonga, which you mentioned earlier, comes from that perceived wealth.
Exactly. This attitude replaces that natural psychological reliance on Allah with reliance on yourself or your money. And the chilling consequence, the flip side, is that Allah, in turn, has no need for them. This psychological shift is really at the core of the problem, wealth giving this false, dangerous sense of independence from God.
And then they lied against the ultimate good, Kadha Bilhusna. Is this where that arrogance fueled by wealth often leads? To denying fundamental truths?
Precisely. Kadhab here means not just denying the truth, but actively attacking religious principles. Wealth can, unfortunately, lead to this powerful arrogance. It causes people to verbally assault and reject the very principles that the righteous person confirms. They might even start believing that religion needs them, not the other way around. It completely twists their perspective.
That's a truly chilling progression. And for this path, the divine consequence is equally stark. Then we will make ease for him the hardest thing. Usra.
Usra means extreme difficulty, hardship. It's the scary reality. Allah actually facilitates for them the path towards difficulty, even towards hellfire itself. It's this terrible irony. The very things they invested in hoping for ease, their money, maybe their children, their status, can become sources of immense torment, can lead to actual heart attacks, severe psychological problems. And they often do evil almost thoughtlessly, like they can't help themselves, caught in this destructive cycle of their own making.
So their chosen path of ease, through wealth, actually leads them to the hardest thing. And then the surah says, and his wealth will not benefit him when he falls in a ditch. What does ditch signify here? Is it literal?
It can have several layers. The ditch could certainly refer to the grave or the depths of hellfire, but it could also signify the spiritual abyss, the indignation, the lowliness of their evil deeds catching up to them. It's a powerful, sobering image. Remember the contrast. The one Allah elevates gives wealth and lowers himself in humility, but the one who wants to elevate himself through wealth gets thrown down into the ditch. Their wealth, which they thought gave them status and security, utterly useless at that moment of truth. A complete inversion of what they sought.
A complete inversion. Okay, let's move into the next part of the surah, where Allah asserts his ownership and gives these final profound warnings. It is only upon us truly to give guidance. What are the key meanings packed into that statement?
This phrase, Inna la huda, has at least two profound meanings. First, it means Allah clarifies the path of guidance for humanity. He makes it clear, accessible. Second, and maybe even more profoundly, it signifies that true guidance leads only to Allah. He himself is the ultimate goal, not wealth, not fame, Allah. And guidance is his possession. It's not something humans can own or achieve just through their own deeds. It's a gift.
And this is followed right up by, and verily, to us belongs the hereafter and the earliest, this world. A really powerful statement of full ownership.
Yeah, and what's particularly insightful here is the linguistic emphasis in the Arabic. There's an extra lam, which really highlights Allah's sole and absolute ownership over everything, both this world and the next. He molds things, changes situations however he wills. This contrasts so sharply with that false sense of ownership humans get from their wealth. And accepting Allah's full ownership, that makes giving easy, because you realize it was never truly yours to begin with. But importantly, this doesn't mean rejecting or hating this world. Allah teaches us to ask for good in both this life and the hereafter. It's about balance.
So true acceptance of divine ownership makes giving truly effortless. Okay? Then comes that direct warning. Thus I have warned you of a blazing fire. This isn't the messenger warning anymore, is it? This is Allah himself speaking directly.
Exactly. The warning comes directly from Allah, and it's delivered in the past tense, which in Arabic often signifies something ultimate, absolute, certain, like the reality of hellfire. The word used for the fire, talasha, it means it keeps sparking, makes a lot of noise. It signifies Allah's intense anger. And the word for warning, inhar, means to thoroughly inform someone, to warn them completely about their situation, where they're headed, and what the consequences will do to them. The Qur'an itself is that complete, thorough warning, leaves no room for misunderstanding.
And who enters this blazing fire? The Surah says no one will enter it except the most wretched, al-ashqa. That directly parallels the one who killed the she-camel back in Ashams. What's the specific crime here that makes someone al-ashqa the most wretched?
The crime identified right here is twofold: lying against the truth and actively turning away from the Qur'an and its guidance. It's a direct parallel to the most wretched among Thamud who rebelled against their miracle. But then, right after this terrifying description, Allah offers immense hope. He says, but the one who has the most piety will be kept far from it. Al-Atqa. The word janaba means to be moved far away from danger, to be made distant from it. And what's crucial here, and this is a point of immense divine mercy, is that the language used for most piety, al-Atqa, is generally understood as not being strictly exclusive. It implies that people with less than the absolute most piety still have hope for salvation. It's not just for the absolute pinnacle. This is a powerful demonstration of Allah's vast mercy.
That's a huge point of hope, yeah, for all of us. So how does one become al-Atqa, aiming for that highest level of piety in a practical sense, according to the surah?
The surah tells us immediately. Who gives his wealth in order to cleanse himself? Soft clasp each other. Now this clarifies the intention. Giving doesn't magically cause purification in itself. Rather, it's done in the hope that Allah will purify you. Allah is the true purifier. And notice it doesn't say gives a lot, but gives of his wealth. This implies everyone, even the poorest person, can give something. If you don't have wealth, you give time, effort, your youth, your talents, and the motive must be absolutely pure. Giving without expecting anything back, not for social status, not to repay a favor, but solely in pursuit of the face, meaning the pleasure, the contentment of his most high Lord. This profound humility is the complete opposite of the arrogance seen in those who hoard wealth.
What an amazing, pure intention behind giving. And finally, the ultimate promise for such a person. And soon he will truly be very content. Wala sofa yarda. Is this the true contentment that people endlessly chase through money and status?
Absolutely. That's the core of it. What people are truly seeking deep down through that endless pursuit of money, status, whatever worldly thing. Contentment. Rida. Satisfaction. And Allah promises that right here for those who follow this path, seeking his pleasure above all else, they will find that deep, lasting contentment. The lam prefix in the Arabic lasofa signifies an unspoken oath. It confirms this promise will be fulfilled without a doubt. There will be no dissatisfaction left, no unrest, no feeling of if only I had more. Because, as another verse says, it's only in the remembrance of Allah that hearts find true tranquility and satisfaction. So what we've really seen in this deep dive into Surah Al-Layl is, well, it's a profound blueprint for life, isn't it? It shows us how every single choice, every act of giving or holding back, every time we accept or reject truth, it shapes our destiny. Not just in the hereafter, but right here, right now, in the actual ease or difficulty we experience in our daily lives.
Yeah, it's such a powerful reminder that the things we think we own, our wealth, our status, they're ultimately outlaws. And that true contentment, that real satisfaction, it doesn't come from accumulating stuff, but from a profound, humble connection to the divine.
And I think the most interesting revelation maybe is just how interconnected everything is. Your inner state, what you do externally, your relationship with other people, and your relationship with Allah, it's all part of one grand design. Even those opposing efforts we talked about, they serve a greater testing purpose within that design.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? This deep dive really challenges your understanding of wealth, doesn't it? It goes way beyond just numbers on a bank statement. It asks you to consider, what are you truly investing in with your time, your resources, your heart? And maybe, just maybe, what kind of ease or difficulty are you actually inviting into your life based on where your heart places its true treasure?